The thinking is contagious. I want to talk a little bit about hypocrisy. Kenosha, Wisconsin. I don't know if you saw Joe Biden as he was exiting from an interview, said he would love to stick, told the reporters, I'd love to stick around, but I'm afraid I might get shot. That's hypocrisy, right? Kamala Harris this week has been out there condemning the rioting and the protesting, the rioting and the burning and the damages that have been done. Just a few weeks ago, she was endorsing the fund that was set up to bail out the rioters and the protesters. You think that the Democrats aren't running a little scared right now on that front, realizing that they've overplayed their hand and it's working against them? All of a sudden, the hypocrisy is showing through. All of a sudden, they're worried about you and law and order because Trump has pointed out the very obvious. Talking about hypocrisy, Nancy Pelosi and the hair salon. No mask, going into the hair salon in San Francisco where they're closed. You're not allowed to conduct business. And then her excuse is she was set up. Were you set up to go? The typical liberal defense, deflect. The basic root of the problem is you made an appointment to go to a beauty salon and you showed up without a mask. Whether you were set up or not, guess what? Stupidity on your part, but more so hypocrisy, because you're the one who set up the appointment. End of excuses. Period. Joe Biden coming on TV, telling the world, telling America how he's going to make sure that we never fall prey to the hands of a supply chain outside of this country. Joe, NAFTA. Joe, Obama, Biden, trade deals. Joe, the mass exodus of jobs and manufacturing from this country under Obama, Biden. That's what caused this, Joe. Hypocrisy. Okay, here's a thought I had. Tell me what you think. Let's suppose that a Donald Trump supporter, let's suppose Steve Bannon said he was going to buy 100 acres somewhere in the United States and set up a community where white people could feel safe. And they were going to set up businesses, and they were going to set up entertainment facilities, and they were going to set up this enclave of safety for white people. What would that be called? Yeah, it would. It'd be segregation, racism, all those things, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Well, there is a group called Freedom Georgia Initiative. Miss Ashley Scott and Miss Renee Walters. They're buying 96 acres, 19 families, somewhere in Georgia, and they're building a community only for blacks. And their excuse is that their children and their husbands and the male and the members of their family, male and female, but mostly male, are not safe in society. Black males are not safe in society. So we're going to create this little enclave and segregate. Guess what you're doing? You're only reinforcing what you're saying you don't want. You're reinforcing segregation. You're reinforcing lack of rights and liberties. You are ingraining in your children the fact that they are disadvantaged because they're black. You are selling them on the fact that they're inferior, that they can't survive within mainstream America. Ignorance, hypocrisy and ignorance. It's incredible. It's incredible to me that this is actually happening in this country and that this stuff like this gets applauded, okay? Applauded as some kind of headline not headline seeking, but headline warranted, some kind of positive initiative. No. Switching over, the stock market. People, thinking is contagious. Last week, Facebook was a great company. They had all the analysts giving price increases for their projected price on the stock, 325, 350. NVIDIA, 650. Netflix, Teladoc, all these tech companies. All of a sudden, within 48 hours, the bottom falls out, and you have all the pundits on TV warning you to head for the hills. The NASDAQ drops 5% in one day. Some of these high-flying tech stocks, NVIDIA dropped over 10% in one day. All of a sudden, they're terrible companies. No new news. No new news. It's just all of a sudden, head for the hills, sell your stocks. All the pundits. It's a redistribution. It's a relocation of assets. It's a turn to value. You know what it is? It's a bunch of professional money managers who were for 6 months saying the technology was overvalued, and they sat on the sidelines and their coffers were full of money, and they didn't take advantage of the ride up in technology. And now all of a sudden in the fourth quarter of this year, when they've got to put to bed their books and show their performance, they need to find somewhere to produce results, because they sure as hell haven't produced them in value stocks and bonds or treasuries. So guess what they do? They put the panic into the market, and while you're selling at a loss or at reduced gain, a company that is solid and sound financially, while you're selling them, guess who's buying them? They are. So 30 days from now, they could put a 10%, 15% back up on their books. People, thinking is contagious. Think. If you've invested in a company and you've done your research, you feel that it's warranted your money and your investment. You've invested money that you don't need tomorrow, but it's a long-term, middle to long-term investment. You believe in the company. There's no fundamental change in news that would affect that company. Why are you allowing these manipulators to cost you money? You're selling, guess who's buying? It's common sense. Common sense. Final point. He talked about hypocrisy, and I'm going to be very honest. I listened to President Trump talk about the alleged comments he made about veterans. And what I point to, and I'm going to paraphrase, I don't remember the exactly where it's located, but the Bible, and I believe it's Proverbs, or it's one of the quotes from Jesus. And basically, they're saying, when you mean no, just say no. Don't swear, don't pledge, don't do it. Just no. President Trump went on yesterday and spent 5 minutes elaborating about the permutations and the gyrations and all the things that he did during that trip, instead of just coming out during that trip to visit or not visit the cemeteries, and to downplay the alleged comments he made about the veterans who are in turn there being losers. I don't know what he said, but I can tell you that he said something, because a simple no that is not true is the answer you would have gotten from someone who had nothing to hide. President Trump, do I think he's anti-veteran? Absolutely not. He's pro-veteran. Do I think that he thinks that veterans who lost their lives are losers? Absolutely not. Do I think that he loves to elicit reaction and he loves to get attention upon himself? Yes, I do. And I would not be surprised if he made a flippant remark about it, about his attending the ceremony or not attending the ceremony. Somebody heard it and they repeated it. But President Trump, when you're going to deny something, just say, no, I didn't do it. And don't give us the whole discourse about how you went on the plane and didn't go on the plane and it was late at night and your wife wanted you to go or didn't want you to go. Sorry, I'm not buying it. BS. still support you, still want you to be president, still know we need you to be president. But learn to keep your mouth shut and stay on point. Because if not, you're no better than Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or Bernie Sanders or Adam Schiff, who are the bottom of the barrel, and we know that. Okay, people, have a good weekend. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. I'm stuck. No new subscribers for the last 3 days. Very few views. I don't understand why. I'm giving you quality.